And they're underway.
And ball looks like it's going to find space too. Sits up nicely. Alea eventually gets hold of it. Took a while now as Erti charges into it. Young fella's 17 years of age. Obviously a lot of these kids, but he's playing first grade here for the Gungahlin Bulls. There's now Castles. Castle drives forward. Cacciotti into the dummy half roll. He finds Anderson. Jack Anderson.
Great tackle by Twulfa.
The two Anderson boys there, they're both cousins, they're not brothers. Now Cacciotti looks up, sees a little gap, gets it over halfway early. Jack Anderson will sneak in a dummy half on 4. Erti again. His second charge in this first set for the Erindale side. Finds Jonah Anderson. Jonah, they decide to run it. Martin, he's got Ilsefa outside of him. Uses him beautifully. Ducks back in off the right foot. They run it on the last, and Erindale are in early through their number 4, Jacob Ilsefa.
The perfect start for Erindale. At home, a friendly reception from the crowd behind us, Sully. What a great line from the back rower there, Noah Martin, and he sets up his centre, Sofa for the first try of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was on the last. They looked to the left to see if they were going to give it for a kick, but they decided to go the short side, and it worked beautifully. As you said, Noah Martin came in, made that extra man, and Ilsefa, he had support outside, but he just bounced off that right foot. So 4-0 with a kick to come from the fullback, Sam Gash.
2 beautiful hit-ups from the front rower there, Jordan Erti as well, just to set up that try. He found his front on both occasions, off the kick-off, that beautiful charge off the back fence, and then just that 4th tackle run there. He just got that quick play the ball, and they played off the back of it.
Yeah, that's the key. The quick play the ball was so crucial. So a good start. Not much better start when you score in the first set. He does give the ball a thump, this kid.
Well, I think the key is he really takes his time. We're watching him in the warm-up, and he was hitting them beautifully. This one should be quite a simple one.
Calmly adds the extras. So 6-0 Erindale lead early. Only 2.5 gone first half. So Illawarra bring it up for the restart. It'll be Toby Miller. Both sides trying to keep each other a little bit warm, as I say, about 4 degrees. A layer waits underneath it. He looks up, he finds Erti again. He's had plenty of football early.
Oh, he's got 5 off him as he finds his front again.
Cacciotti looks up. Takes a while now, they eventually get it. Coming in there, Regan Carr. It's a strong run from the skipper for the Erindale side. Set it up once again. Jack Anderson finds Jonah Anderson. Gash around the back. He throws the dummy. He decides to take the tackle on 3. Ilsefa sneaks in the dummy arc. Jonah Anderson finds Castle. Cacciotti, the layer, underneath, charging onto it, Carr, his second run in the set as he brings it underneath on the last. 20 out. It goes back to Jonah Anderson. He puts it high, it's a nice kick. Sweeney underneath, Ilsefa there.
Oh,
Ilsefa plucks it out of the air, and he's got an early double.
what a try. He glided in the air for, it seemed like he defied gravity there, Sully, the way he was able to stay in the air and the control to bring it down. Contact in the back, but he's got an early double. Ilsefa.
Yeah, it was a lovely kick. The boy that grew up in Kalgoorlie. Jacob Ilsefa, an early double, but that was just, eyes on the ball and just leapt high.
Well, they just rolled down the field, Erindale, once again. all that off the back of a couple of strong carries. We saw Regan Carr, the captain, come in and get involved a couple of times that set and really challenge the defence and got him on the front foot. But a beautiful kick from the half, Jonah Anderson, and what a finish from ESFA to get an early double.
It was a pinpoint accuracy with the kick, wasn't it? It was half a metre out from the try line and with plenty of height.
He had all day to kick it, and he put it right on the money.
Well, Illawarra haven't touched the ball yet.
Nah, it's been almost 6 minutes, and all they've done is defend so far. And I'll tell you what, we've talked about how cold it is. Looking up at the scoreboard in the cool, and all you've done is defend. It's probably not real pleasing behind the post there for Illawarra, but they'll need to try and hold them out this next set and get a taste of the ball.
Well, that's it now as Gash moves in. Pushes it to the left. So conversion unsuccessful, 10-0. 6 gone. First half here at Seaford Oval. In this Peter Mulholland Cup, round 1 Pool B clash. Miller again with the restart. A layer underneath once more. This time just hangs on to it. Saw the risk as Castle was a fair way away from him. McSpadden. He drives it forward. The lightly built back rower for the Erindale side. Cacciotti now looks up. Jack Anderson this time. Cacciotti again, he has a little sneak out of dummy half. He nearly gets through the tackle of Barney, but he hangs on to him. Jack Anderson in the dummy half, finds Jonah Anderson, dummies to Martin. Bounces off one, still going. A good tackle there by Barney. And we're on the last. Alea this time. He'll put it on the left. He does indeed. It goes high. Ball around, swirling around as Hamad. He's gone into touch, so that's their first touch, and they'll turn it over again.
Again, Erindale. Clutterbuck, a great kick chase there and puts him over the sideline, but just under immense pressure once again, and doesn't get any easier for Illawarra as they're going to have to defend their line. As Erindale is set again to go on the attack.
Now Jack Anderson, he finds Castle, who'll just drive it forward, looking to find his feet. Just held down long enough there. Well done by Barney. They go to the left. Alea fires out a wide pass to Clutterbuck. Eventually he scores. He's gone into touch as Carr got him the pass. 8 out, and they're saying that Clutterbuck went into touch.
You get let off the hook again there, but looked for all money. Clutterbuck was going to go over in the corner. He must have just stepped his foot on the line there. Great call from the touch judge, but they get let off Illawarra, and this will be their first taste of the football.
As you say, their first taste is Ethan Cliff, their captain. Drives it forward. Miller now. They were just finding their way, just getting used to handling the footy. 9 gone, their first set, and there's this time Barney in the pink headgear. Howard looks up. Good run, but some good tackle there. Placas, he was hit solidly. Cacciotti came in from the side, which threw him off balanced. A little bit flat as Miller ends up getting the ball on 4. We're on the last now. Zach Scott, the 7, he'll wait for it. He eventually gets a quick left footer in as Martin took care of him. Oh, the penalty. Martin did come in late and pushed him, and that's what he's been penalised for.
Poor discipline there. They defended really well. They looked a bit flat there, Illawarra. Obviously, their first time touching the ball in almost 10 minutes gone, and they seem to just be sort of on their footsteps there. They were really they were really flat, but they got let off there with a penalty, and they'll be on the attack now.
Yeah, it's a cheap penalty, as you say. A very, very cheap penalty is now the 16. Tani Tani. Taufa fires it out to Scott. The ball finds the ground. Only on 2. They're going to say it's a knock on from the Illawarra side. And that's a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it was poor ball out the back there. I think they were just trying to get into their attacking set, but the ball was out the back there of Zach Scott, and he was hard to bring it back in. I think the referee initially said it was backwards, but I think when he went to go regather it, he just fumbled it there in the pickup. But Erindale, the first time on the back foot there, and they've defended well, and they'll have the ball. The scrum about 35 metres out from their own line.
Jonah Anderson feeds. Cacciotti picks it up, finds a layer. Quickly out to Carr. Now Carr, he's making yards up that far side. He's got Clutterbuck outside. He's got a layer inside, and he says, I don't need either of you. And scores in the corner. Says a clean pair of heels does Regan Carr.
Just too much speed, Sully. Way too much speed. He said he had that support there, but he didn't need them. He palmed off the cover defence there to score in the far corner, but that's a great individual try.
Well, he flicked the switch and added a couple of spark plugs the last 10 metres.
Well, he's been explosive in this opening 10 minutes. A couple of carries coming out of trouble and getting his team on the front foot. And he says, I'll do it all myself. He scores in that far corner there to go up 14-0 after not even 12 minutes of play. They're beating the score clock at the moment, Sully.
Yeah, and that was just straight off a scrum. They were happy to let the ball talk. And eventually, as we said, it ends up with Regan Carr, and he still had plenty of work to do. He had 60 to run. So the sustained pressure from Erindale sees them lead 14-0. Only 12 gone, as you just mentioned, Finn. Oh.
Well, Illawarra will be disappointed. Obviously, trailing by this much so early, they've just had no ball, and the opportunity they had there went begging. Only tackled 2 and an error as they got on the attack after a pretty cheap penalty from Erindale, which granted them an opportunity, but they got to learn. They got to defend first. It's half of the game, so 14-0 with a kick to come. Sam Gash lines it up from the sideline, and we know he's got a boot on him. He could quite easily put this one over.
Sometimes it's like watching paint dry, isn't it? Now Gashy just takes his time, and I do that for a living, Finn. As he moves in, waved away as it pushes to the left. So 14-0, score will remain. 17 left first half here at Seaford Oval in this Peter Mulholland Cup. Pool B, round 1 game. Once again, Miller with the restart. Keeps it low this time. Alea attacks it, picks it up nicely. As the Illawarra Sports High defenders get there, and they tried the one-on-one strip. The referee said you could just see the Illawarra boys just move away, but Alea was clever. He hung onto the footy. Carr again charging into it.
Great contact there from Zach Marbani.
Yeah, Marbani, a good tackle. Drove Carr backwards, Cacciotti. Cacciotti looks up, finds Alea, dancing around, spinning around. Will he keep it alive? He does. He finds Cacciotti again. Cacciotti, a short pass to Castle. And Castle's shy, 2 metres shy of halfway. Jack Anderson goes himself. He did have Martin there as young Zach Scott tried to come in and make the tackle. They go the short side. Cacciotti finds Martin. Martin still going through. I tell you what, if he had his time again, he had the left hand free, didn't he, Finn?
He looked for the offload, but a great tackle from Toby Miller. It's his last tackle. They push it wide.
They do. Eventually now Jonah Anderson looked to pass. There's trouble here. Clutterbuck should score. Oh, coming across. It had to be done as Hamad gets the boot to Borders. It looked like Clutterbuck was just going to dive on it. And it diffuses the situation.
Yeah, it was a great attacking kick. The winger was up and in there. He was too compressed and found himself on the back foot. Clutterbuck had wide open line, but he just got a boot to it. As they'll have a line drop out. Toby Miller.
Alea does well. A little bit of a soccer skill there. Scoops the ball up and finds Castle. Charging forward. Cacciotti. He looks up, finds McSpadden. He charges through, but eventually a good tackle there from the boys in blue. Cacciotti again. He goes to short side. Alea. Carr. He hangs on to it. Clutterbuck to dummy half. Fires the pass out for Alea. It's a nice long pass. Anderson finds Castle. He'll look to find his feet quickly. Slowed down by Miller. Cacciotti finds Erty. Bangs one out of the way. And they hold him up. It looked for all money he was going to reach the hand. Cacciotti says, I will though. And it was a quick play, the ball from Erty. And Cacciotti goes, here we go, let me roam. And off he went.
Well, it was a great quick play, the ball there from Erty. I thought he was scored for all money there. It was great work to hold him up, but let him up way too quickly, and he gets the quick play the ball, and it was just too easy for Cacciotti, who's looked dangerous out of dummy half all game. Off those quick play the balls, they're just rolling forward too quickly. Erindale, they're not slowing down enough, Illawarra, and they score another one to go up 18 points to 0.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's been the quick play the balls, and
as we saw, even just off the line drop out there, it did go 40 odd metres, but they're just marching forward too quickly. The line speed's just not there for Illawarra.
But it has been a sustained amount of possession. That's the key.
Yeah. Well, they've been on the back foot since the kickoff, and it's not easy when you're trailing points. But if I was out there now with their Illawarra side, I'd be telling them they need to get off their line off this kickoff here and try and relieve a bit of the pressure with a bit of line speed. So
well, Jordan Eddy's just having a break as the 15 comes on. Jaden Swager. He's probably thinking, I'm not out of breath, coach.
Gash moves in. I'll tell you what, he's nearly put it up at the Queanbeyan Leagues Club. He's kicked it that far.
There's no problems with that one. 16-0, 13 left first half. Four tries so far. Two have gone to Jacob Eorsefa, Regan Carr, and then Xavier Cacciotti. Says to the backs.
As Toby Miller gets us underway. A shallow kickoff again. As the fresh interchange. Svega brings it back. Up over their 30 already. Erindale as he plays the ball.
So a penalty as well there for Erindale. Their first one of the day.
Another piggyback for Erindale as they'll find touch here. And a long kick, which will give them on the attack.
It's a nice kick. Gains a bit of interest. Carr looking for the quick tap as well. He does the F-post. Off he goes. Trying to get his side. Now we're seeing a bit of aggression in defence from this Illawarra side. Jack Anderson, Swager, his first touch. He bounces off one, but underneath. Oh, he keeps it alive. Alea picks it up. He tries to go straight through the middle. Be dangerous. He steps one. Eventually, Barney drags him down. Cacciotti, Jonah Anderson, out to Sam Gash. He'll just go slice straight through the gap, and he'll score out wide.
Beautiful backline play there. The half, Jonah Anderson, just held up the defence beautifully and gashed that sweeping play, and they just had numbers. But he didn't need them. He dummied and went, and he goes over untouched to score his first of the afternoon. 24 points to 0 after almost 20 minutes of play, and it's just becoming too easy for Erindale.
Yeah, that looked a little bit too easy. As you say, let's be totally honest, the Illawarra boys have tackled for 18 minutes.
They have. And just a cheap penalty on tackle 2 there. Just gets them straight out of trouble. And puts them on the back foot again. And they're not doing themselves any favours, Illawarra. But as you said, Sully, they've tackled for, 80% of this game, and it's hard to get back in the game without the footy.
80? Tell you what, 90 at least. I
was trying to be fair, mate.
I think Erindale's made 8 tackles.
Yeah, no, they're rolling through Erindale. It's Gash to line up to convert his own try.
Never seen a referee with a broken arm.
I was thinking that at the kickoff. I wonder how he's done that.
Yeah.
Still holding him back, I suppose. It's only one of those halfway up his arm.
Referee
casts.
Miles, of course, doing a good job. Just proves he can still be out there with a whistle. So Gash will move in to try and convert his own try. Moves in, but he's kicked that well and truly to the left. Picks up the cone in disgust. He's not happy with himself. But the score will remain 24-0. 9 left till the halftime break.
It seems Toby Miller's going to get a rest with the boot, and Zach Marbani's going to kick off.
Well, not yet. He's not, as the ball rolls off the tee. As it's clicked over to 5 degrees here at midday. And again, the wind has picked up. At least it's not raining. That's the main thing, is Marbani. This time he gets a good kick. Illawarra goes up his head. McSpadden knocks it backwards, and eventually he picks it up.
That's a better kick-off from Illawarra. Nice deep one, and
it was Jack Anderson this time. He's drives at 40, bounces out of one, still going is Jack Anderson. Cacciotti looks up, he's got runners, he finds Castle. Castle driving it to the 40. The defensive 40 it is. Jack Anderson, Swager he had then, finds Jonah Anderson, he throws the big dummy. Had runners outside, had Martin in particular. Swager again. 40 out on the last. Goes back to Jonah Anderson. Another nice kick. Up it goes. And the Illawarra boys nicely taken there by Cleveland van der Lark.
This will be the first time Illawarra have seen the ball in a while, so they'll be looking to complete this set for sure. As Cliff
Yep, the skipper. Just trying to lead from the front. Miller.
He's gotten through some work early, Miller.
Done some tackling. They all have. Taufa now. Taufa 5 from halfway on 3. Marbani. Out to Scott. Scott fires a long pass. It finds the ground. And it ends up with the Erindale side. Wasn't the best option there by Zach Scott. I'm not sure who was throwing the pass to. But Erindale, they said, thank you very much. And it ends up with Cacciotti.
That's a coach killer, that one. As it finds the ground, and Erindale, the desperation dive on it. As they'll find themselves on the attack again. See Swager again. Another strong carry. As he bumps off a few, and they look for the one-on-one again, but he holds on.
Short break there for Erty. He's not back on the field as Castle comes up with a little bit of a blood reel. As Jack Anderson this time looked to go through the middle. Cleaned up eventually by Plekas. Still on the ground, Plekas, he gets up. Anderson. Alaya spinning, throws the dummy. Had McSpadden and Clutterbuck outside of him. Decides to hang on to it on the last. Gash keeps it low. Martin coming through. Miller, he cleans up. He can't do much else. Just slipped over at the wrong time then, Finn.
Yeah, he looked up, I think, and saw the defence rushing through, and, yeah, just a slight slipping goals there, but great eyes up to find the footy, and he tried to get back out as he looks for the quick drop out, and it's a decent one.
Yeah, it's not bad. As Gash picks it up, he'll just look up, he finds Airty. As I said, back on the field. Miller bounces off him. Marbani comes in to assist.
Just over 5 minutes left.
Cacciotti, dummies underneath to Suega, picks up Alea. Alea finds Gash. Gash has got Carr knocked down. They had no choice.
Had the numbers again there, the overlap. Gash just running freely at the back there. He's a big boy and he's got great awareness. As they're cutting them short on these edges here, Erindale. As they'll have a scrum just over 10 metres out. Just over 5 minutes remaining here, and they'll look to score again and try and extend their lead. It's currently 24 points to nil.
Alea will feed. As the done thing now, Cacciotti at the back. He'll pick it up. Finds Jonah Anderson. Jonah Anderson got Noah Martin short. He's going to be unstoppable from there.
A beautiful line again from Noah Martin. And Anderson just took it right to the line. That's what you love to see in a halfback. Halfback that's willing to take the shot. And the defence were just crawling back there. They weren't up off their line. And Anderson makes him pay. I think they were looking for Gash out the back, and he plays short to his back rower, and a beautiful line to go under the post untouched. 28 points to nil with a kick to come.
Yeah, it's like having a six-cylinder outside you, and you just pick up the V8 on the middle, because that's what it was. It was just all too easy. And you could see it from where you could just see it opening up.
Yeah. No, they're taking all their opportunities. Erindale is... They take a commanding lead.
Yeah, 5 tries scored in this first half. But I think the key thing there, and looking at young Jonah Anderson, the 7, he has got time when the ball in hand, hasn't he?
No, it makes it easier when his forwards are just rolling forward. They're getting that quick play the ball, and he's just having all the time in the day to do what he likes. And it's great as a halfback when you've got that time.
So Gash will move in, and he shouldn't have any problems with that one.
It's one of his quicker kick for goals. I think the wind spotted off. He didn't need to take the extra steps back there to put that one over. 30 points to nil with just over 3.5 remaining. Illawarra took a few, were keen to get this back up underway here and try and force an error.
Yeah, try and force an error and get some points before the halftime break as Marbani. And he just sits up in the wind. Once again, Alea, he's had plenty of practice of that in this first half, taking the kick off. Airty just drives it forward. Still going is Airty. Good leg drive there. He's nearly over the halfway line on tackle 2. Cacciotti finds Jack Anderson, throws the dummy, nearly squirms his way through.
Had the arm free there, but just couldn't get the offload away.
Cacciotti again scheming. Jonah Anderson, Martin, good tackle underneath. Had to be made. Mitchell Sweet it was. Cacciotti again. They come again. Scott misses him. Eventually, Plekas. He keeps it alive though. Martin, this time he really does get ahead of steam, and he scores his second try in the space of 3 minutes.
Cacciotti just got a brilliant offload out the back there. I didn't even know if you could see the support behind him, but flicks it out, and great awareness from the back rower. Noah Martin to score his second in just as many minutes.
Yeah, he's having a field day on this right edge. That's 4 tries on this right edge so far. Of course, Iosefa scored the first 2. Now, Noah Martin's grabbed a couple late in this first half. Just domination.
Yeah, 34 points to nil. They are beating the clock.
They have controlled the ball beautifully, though, when they've had it.
Oh, they've been flawless. I'm really impressed with. I couldn't see how this team could have played a whole lot of footy together. I know a few of these boys have been in the Harold Matthews with the Canberra Raiders, and
there's a fair few. There's up to at least half of them.
But just the combinations, just their attack has been it's been nearly flawless, Sully, the way they've been throwing it around, and a couple of very damaging runs. I know Regan Carr's had his hand on the ball, and he's been dangerous every time he's touched it. I've been impressed with the 5'8", Ethan Alea. His footwork over there on that left side, and Jonah Anderson and Sam Cash on this right edge, linking up with the back rower and centre as Gash will look to extend the lead as he comes in.
He's pushed it to the left again. He'll get the radar sorted at half time.
Just over 30 seconds remaining.
Marbani's in a hurry to get things underway. I know what I'll be doing.
I've been impressed with Marbani. I know they've been defending all day, but his aggression's probably been one of their best as he goes short here. And
oh, you don't want to give it to this bloke. No, Martin. Oh, he flirts with the touchline and he puts the foot over.
I thought he went close the first time. I think they may have missed one there, the first step, but yeah, he went a couple of steps over the touchline there. They are keen to get it underway, but I don't think they will.
That short kick-off can be ever so dangerous as the siren sounds in the background. And referee Miles blows half-time. And it's a half that's been dominated by the Erindale College side. They lead 34-0.
I did think that at half-time. I thought, well, Illawarra will get a taste of the ball to start this second half, and I'd say they'll be looking to complete this set for sure.
Yeah, well, that's it. As Gash puts it high in the air, it's gone right back down. Scott takes it well too. The young fella, he eventually has to do it. Some good solid defence early there. Martin and Alex Sweeney out of dummy half goes.
Yeti strong over the top there.
Cleveland van der Lark. Marbani, he didn't look happy when he walked off, and they're down 34-0, and you just like to see a kid he wasn't happy.
No, he was one of their best in the first half, if not their best, considering they defended for majority of the game so far, but he wasn't happy at all, and it is good to see a bloke that cares as they take another hit up down this right edge there.
Yeah, he does, and that's right. So now we're on the last. It was Tausala. His first touch, the 6 actually. Gash allows it to bounce. Cleans it up now. He's got Sweeney with him, but decides to take the tackle as Marbani meets him. Bounced out of the tackle. Taufa came in. So Sweeney now coming off the right wing. Couple of changes. Looks like Clutterbuck's off. Max Mercer out here on this left wing for the Erindale side. Cacciotti looks up. Alea sees half a gap and gives it to McSpadden, who didn't expect it and just didn't charge onto the footy as we're seeing now. This time Jack Anderson, he charges onto it. Last tackle. Alea on the left. Jonah Anderson to the right. It's a short pass to Swager on the last. Can he keep it alive? He does. He flicks it back inside for Gash. Cacciotti throws the dummy on the last still. Flicks it out the back and ends up in the arms of Toby Miller from the Illawarra Sports High side.
He's got a good offload on him. So we saw him set up a Cacciotti. Yeah, he set up that try just near half time there. So he got that ball away, but
it's Cleveland van der Lark. Takes a scoot. Come back, Marbani. As you mentioned, his work rate's been good. Now he gets the opportunity with the football. Plekas. Underneath goes Anderson over the top. Etty and Swager might take a while to get to his feet. Pound for pound, those two landing on you.
Bit of weight on top there as he...
Muscle.
Yeah, muscle, of course.
Nothing in the tackle. It was just,
Bit awkward, I think. Just the way he landed there, and so he just stays down. As you can see the two prop forwards there.
And the other teams in the Pool B competition from Victoria, Finn. Hallam College and the Grange P12 College, and that's their first time in the competition.
Yeah, it's good. It's cool to see, I think. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm, as we know, the powerhouse they are down there in Victoria. So it's good to see part of the Peter Mulholland Cup, some schoolboys from down that way in this competition. So it'll be interesting to see how they go in this pool, as Erindale have been quite dominant in this match so far.
And this 6 to go. Referee calls. Miller, he just takes a scoot out of
one-on-one strip.
It's been a one-on-one strip from Martin. Looks like a chihuahua taking on a boxer, that one, as he just strips it up and keeps it alive. He comes back to the middle of the field. Jack Anderson eventually ends up with it. Set up in the middle of the field. 30 out, a layer underneath from McSpadden, and he just drops it cold.
He just didn't look comfortable then, Aaliyah, the way he juggled it, and then he probably should have caught that at the back row. I'm sure he'd love his time over again, but that may be the first mistake I've seen Erindale make this half in an attacking opportunity. So
both halves so far.
Yeah,
yes.
Sorry, all game.
All game, yeah.
There's a bit of relief pressure there for Illawarra. As Tuasala will feed the scrum, and Marbani finds Scott.
Out to Miller. Just going across field. Not going forward as yet. As off a standing start. Taufa. Good leg drive. He got through Swagger. Howard looks up from dummy up. Picks it up eventually. Underneath. Once again, Marbani.
See a fresh interchange here with Tony Tarnai coming onto the field. He's a big boy. He's looking for the ball here straight away as they play the ball.
Pleckus driven backwards on the last tackle, Swager, and it was. Long pass, ball finds the ground now. Scott, he's going to be rushed. Puts it on the left. Sweeney underneath, picks it up nicely. Gets it back to the middle of the field. Beats one. No, Miller gets hold of the jersey and drags him to the ground.
He's been leading the kick chase all day. Toby Miller.
Regan Carr now. Alea sneaks into dummy half. He looks up. He goes himself to the right. Does the flick. Can he get through? Pleckus underneath. Mercer now. Pleckus, sorry, he awaits this time. Just trying to see the number with the headgear. He's done some good work in the last couple of minutes. Might be Carney. Yeah, it is too. Brett Carney, the 18. For the Illawarra Sports High. Last tackle now. Jonah Anderson has time. Just puts it high in the air. Does well. Over the far side is Cuba. Cleveland van der Lark. Takes the mark. It rhymes.
He's been good under the high ball, Van der Lark. As this is the first carry for Tarney. As he brings it out. Takes 3 to bring him down. So 20 metres out from their line. So we can see a couple of the Erindale forwards just swarming up here on the sideline.
They'll be chafing at the bit.
Well, it's been chilly. It'd be chilly on the sideline as pokes his nose through there was Fiago. Another hit up for Marbani as he's met there. He bounces off one.
They come again. He keeps it alive, though. There's this time Cliff. Through the dummy, just comes it back himself to this side. He's met by Carr. He drives into the ground on the last. Bit of rush. Marbani said, here, I'll put it high in the air, and that's where it goes. Absolutely high in there. It's gone 12 metres. It's going to be allowed to bounce. Sweet picks it up. Still on the last. And Noah Martin picks him up, drags him in. Oh, no, it's Sam Gash.
Ragdolled. It seems Regan Carr might... Ethan Alea seems to have a problem here. The trainers just asked for the game to be stopped. It looks like he'll come off for a...
I'm just going to check. Has he got a head knock? He's just patting him on the head, so... He'll make his way off the field. Blake Hovey will come on for his first minutes of the day.
He doesn't look too crush shot. Allows, he's had a great game. He's been assisted off the field, and Blake Hovey will come into the game as looks like Jonah Sullivan will come onto the field fresh as well in the headgear in the number 16 jumper.
Swager making his way off.
Play will resume here.
It's with Carr now. Carr drives it forward. Still at that half-time score, 34-0 it was, after a complete first half domination. Sullivan, his first run, beats one, he gets to halfway, he's wrapped up now. Cachotti awaits as he gets to his feet quickly. Jack Anderson to Airty.
Looks for that offload again, but he won't get it. He's slammed there by Tarney.
Anderson got Sullivan with him, just hangs on to it as Hovey was out the back. Hovey will want it this time. They go again. Hovey's got Gash out the back, who finds Carr. Carr finds Mercer. Mercer drops it as the ball finds the touch. So another mistake from the Erindale side.
Illawarra, so far, the first opening 10 minutes, they've been matching it. Haven't had a lot of opportunity down that end of the field, but the defence has definitely improved since the halftime break. So they did a lot of defence in the first half. Marbani will play the ball.
They did have a couple of players, and, at the end of the day, pretty handy players.
Oh, yeah.
Who couldn't come.
Jeremiah,
Takira, and Amorne. So a couple of big losses early for Illawarra, and it's probably left them a little bit unbalanced, I would have thought, Finn.
Yeah, well, missing your starting fullback in your front rower, so it's definitely a couple of big losses.
Tarney this time. McSpadden and Hovey involved in the tackle. Tausala, he beats one, still rolling eventually. Underneath, Hovey, over the top. McSpadden and Sullivan. Scott finds Marbani. A good tackle underneath from Cachotti. Last tackle. Tausala just puts a kick, but eventually, it's been knocked on. It just hung up, and Plekas nearly picked up the crumbs. Max Mercer has now.
Just didn't seem to be any awareness there on that right edge. We saw Tausala, he hit it up on the third tackle there as they give away a penalty. A cheap one as they'll get a nice piggyback here, Erindale, but no one was even looking for the footy there on the right edge, and a rushed kick and a mistake from the back rower. Plekas is...
Yeah, that was cheaper than Red Dot. That penalty.
They'll just fine touch.
So Carr, get things underway. Just waiting now. Yep, off you go. F Posset and just charge into the blue jersey of the Illawarra Sports High. Cachotti in the dummy half again, as he will be for the rest of the day with a layer off. Yerty had support. Jack Anderson fires it, picks up Jonah Anderson. Martin flicks it out the back. Ball will find touch. No, Gast keeps it in field of play. Once again, a little bit of a breakdown in play there. Jonah Anderson. Jack Anderson hits Sullivan short. Toby Miller does well, brings him down with the help of Carney. Hovey has McSpadden. He just steps off the left. Still going. Referee says he hasn't been held. He has now.
Maybe lucky to get away with the second effort there. Tarney over the top.
Gash just puts a little kick through and cleaned up nicely.
Tausala.
Done well. Just bounced off the kick. There's Cliff floating across field. Is met by Martin, who says, here you go. Let's go for a walk. He drives him back another 10. Long pass Finds Cleveland van der Lark. Once again, they're just going sideways sweep. He tries a little scoot out of dummy half.
So you can see
Miller.
the dummy half, Xavier Cacciatore.
Caciotti. He's just coming off now as well. So interesting to see who goes into dummy half with a layer. They shared and that looks like a referee's going to call that a knock on from Gash. So Castle is coming on. So as I say, it'll be interesting to see who goes to dummy half. Both Caciotti and Alea shared the hooking duties for the Canberra Raiders. Harold Matthews throughout 2022, Finn.
All right, well, that'll be something to look out for here as Illawarra get their first real attacking opportunity of the half, possibly the game.
Well, the game, yeah, it is their first opportunity. They'll have hopefully 6 tackles at this Erindale side. Halftime score was 34-0 and remains that way. 13 gone, second half. The referee says, I want it back in again. Probably wasn't a bad call in the end as the pass went to ground.
Yeah. Well, I want to see Tsala, the 5'8" there for Illawarra, try and get his hands on the ball a couple of times this set. He's looked dangerous when he's ran it.
Yeah, Tsala now. This is what you want he does, but he gets it straight off there to Cliff. Cliff with room to move. He finds Colwell. Penalty. Offside, they're saying. Off the scrum. Yeah, offside. There's a differential penalty.
Look, an extra tackle here is...
So Zach Scott, he just F-poss and gives it quickly to Mabani, who winds up. He's tackled just a metre shy. They roll him on his back eventually. McSpadden involved. Scott fires out a long pass. He dummies it. Fenner, he's packed up by Etty, and Martin came in. Back inside now, Taufer. They go back to this right edge. Scott to dummy half. It goes to the right side. As you said, charging onto it. Tsala now. He gets to his feet on 4. It's a long pass. They can't look up. He's going back. He's going forward. He's going one way.
Lucky to get away with the shepherd there, I think, Sully. Because it's tackle 5 and Scott will go to dummy half.
Now Miller, he just puts it on and Jonah Anderson picks up the crumbs. A poor play on the last option.
Yeah, it was a poor set there from Illawarra. It's their first opportunity of the game and it's gone begging again. They were just too flat in attack. They gave it to a couple of forwards, just one out. You can't do that.
No, that's right. Now it's Martin. Martin gets the fast one off the ruck. Jonah Anderson sneaks into dummy half. There might be your answer. I think what's happened is, Jonah Anderson Jack Anderson, of course. He can play dummy half as well, and he's gone in. Miller saying, I've got it, sir, as Gash does hang on to it. Jack Anderson finds Castle on to Etty. Bit of play between the two front rowers. On the last, Hovey. He gets it. He's got the left boot, of course. He finds space. Referee says you're all offside. As McSpadden puts it on the toe. Still going. Picks it up and will score in the corner.
A great individual try. McSpadden chases through the kick and he had a bit of work to do and he towed it through again and it just sat up in the corner there and he's done well to put that down right on the touchline. And that'll be the first points of quite a tight second half so far. Well, the damage is done early.
Yeah, well, Hovey put the kick through. It found space. There was a couple of Erindale players who were called offside, but McSpadden wasn't one of them. And he flirted with the touchline when he picked it up and scores a good individual try. Takes it out 38-0. Kick to come from Gash on this far grandstand side.
But Illawarra, they've stayed in the contest for this second half. Although, as I said, the damage was sort of done in the first half. 34 points to 0, trailing into half time. And
I can guarantee you the damage was done at half time.
Just trying to be nice, Sal. Just trying to be nice.
No, I know that.
As Gash will line this up from... Couldn't get any further on the chalk.
He could join us if it was any further. It's a tough kick. I'm actually backing him in on this one.
Well, you could tell there's a bit of frustration crept in there. A couple of his kicks, we saw him hitting them very sweetly in the warm-up, but a couple of times just waving them away to the left as he lines this one up. It's a very interesting kick,
Kick technique.
Yeah, technique. That's the one I'm looking for.
At the end of the day, I'm a big believer that these blokes have got it out here, and they do exactly the same all the way through. They'll kick more than what they miss. This time moves in nicely. Look at that. He's swinging it around beautifully.
Yeah, your money was right.
Oh, ring-a-ding-ding.
It's a beautiful strike. As that'll reach the 40 mark. 40 points to 0. Barney will look to get things underway. He's always the first up there. He's got a great attitude, this kid. I've been impressed with his efforts today in a losing side as he'll look to get this underway. Just over 12 minutes remaining here in the second half.
Yeah, you're right. He's the purple headgears, the pink headgear's been everywhere.
His work rate's been phenomenal.
Jonah Anderson awaits it, gives it to Ben Castle. Castle driving it back. Miller meets him. Jonah Anderson now. He'll find Martin. Martin grates through the gap. He's got runners inside and outside. Who's he going to give it to? He gives it now to Jacob Iosefa. And in turn, Gash backing up through the middle. Dives through one, dives through two. And scores under the post.
It's just too easy, Sully. Far too easy. Jonah Anderson toying with the defence. He's taking it right to the line. He just plays short there. And they find the gap, and he had support. Looked like Iosefa was going to do it himself, but he passed off to Gash, who had to beat a couple there, but he scores under the post for his second of the afternoon. And
yeah, well, Martin as well, as you say, his footwork's very good. No, Martin, you actually don't see it from this far away, but his footwork at speed is very, very good. And now Gash, you get the opportunity.
Well, Noah Martin, he crossed for 2 in the first half. And he set up the first try as well. And he's got great footwork, as you said, and he runs a great line, which is what you love in a back rower.
Well, there have been multiple try scorers, a couple to Sam Gash, as we just saw. Jacob Iosefa scored the first 2 of the game, and then, as you said, Noah Martin, just before the half-time break, he grabbed a couple.
This Gash he could toe punt this one over.
Oh, he'll headbutt it over. See, but the same procedure. Doesn't change.
Don't know if I've ever seen that before. Seems to be working, but
Oh, it works. As I said, he really does give the ball a boot. That time he just looked after the ball boy and just
kept it inside
the fence.
Well, he would have been fishing off the roof of the Queanbeyan Leagues Club in the first half, the way he booted some of those balls over the posts. But
so 46-0, 10 to go. In the second half, there's Peter Mulholland, round 1, Peter Mulholland Cup, round 1 clash. Pool B. And it'll be the boys from the ACT taking the 2 points. The ball goes high. Hovey waits for it, gets it, looks up, finds Etty. Etty driving forward. He's met by Mabani.
What a tackle.
And Taufa. They did well. Over the top came Hamad in the 14. McSpadden had looked now. Carr says, gives Mercer a lovely pass. Mercer, he's getting ahead of Steve now. He'll come back inside. Ankle tap it was, and he got through as Cliff had to clean him up. It was well done there by Colwell, who got the ankle tap in. They look to move it quickly now. Gash. He looks up. He had runners outside. Decides to take the tackle. He burnt one there.
Yeah, they had numbers out the right edge there, but they'll take one back to the post.
Jack Anderson, long pass for Jonah Anderson. Jonah He steps off the right, comes back to the middle of the field. Jack Anderson looks up. Hovey, underneath for Carr, charging onto the footy. Barney, he does well, keeps it alive now. Just Jack Anderson going. He'll throw the dumb and he'll score. Untouched.
Barney had the great one-on-one effort there, but they got the offload away and great footwork at the line. He goes over untouched. That'll bring up the 50 mark.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden in the last 10 minutes, we've seen Erindale complete sets.
Yeah.
And as soon as they started doing that, they start scoring more points. And I think the effort in defence from the Illawarra sports boys in that first half is just really just starting to bite them.
You can see a few hands on hips there. I can tell you what, I'd be exhausted as well. Did a lot of defence in that first half, which the scoreline sort of set up the game for the Erindale side as Jordan Eddy gets a well-deserved breather. I doubt we'll see him again this afternoon. He's been impressive today as Svaga comes back onto the field. But, yeah, just the rolling forward, the rolling ruck from Erindale has been impressive this afternoon. And as you said, they will pick up the 2 points in this round one of the Peter Mulholland Cup. They'll be looking to keep the clean sheet as well. As Gash will look to extend it to 52 as he comes in.
Didn't have any problems as the touch judges. They just put the flags in the air. Referee Miles and puts his hand in the air. And that makes it 52-0, 7 left.
I think there's been a number of blokes you could say have been best on ground today, Sully and Erindale, the Erindale side. It's been a lot of impressive.
It's been a good team effort.
Yeah.
I think the big thing, when you win like this, and your halves have plenty of time with the football in hands, it's your forwards who get them on the roll, and that's where it started. And the likes of Cacciotti out of dummy half, he's been dangerous. And as the ball goes high in the air, Mabani. Jack Anderson finds Swager. He runs at Miller. You've seen the 11 there a fair bit in the blue side. He's tackled well as well. They go the short side with Castle. Castle driving it through the middle again. And this is where it started with their forwards. Jonah Anderson, short pass for Eeyore Sefa. We haven't mentioned him much in this second half since he scored 2 early tries. He keeps it alive for Gash. Gash following through the middle, and he gets through the middle. He's got Hovey with him. Hovey, it's a race to the line. Has Hovey got the speed? I think he has as he plants the ball down with Teo Rua on top of him. But some good work through the middle.
A beautiful line there. And he sets up the super sub, Orby, for his first of the afternoon. He's looked good when he's come on the field as well. Makes it easy when your side's rolling forward the way they have, and great support play there to score his first right under the sticks as they continue to really break this game open and extend the lead.
Well, as I said, it was two very, very good forward runs, and then bang, they make the gap through the middle. Sam Gash, as most fullbacks do nowadays, he's got that James Tedesco-like look about him. He just follows in behind the ruck.
Yeah, he does. He's got that similar sort of build as well. He's a big boy, and he's got great upper body strength, but he does have that awareness. You saw in that first half, he set up a number of tries, bagged a couple himself.
He's had a good day at the office.
Or
a good day at school.
Well, yeah. I bet the boys are enjoying these games off in these days off school in the Peter Mulholland Cup, especially when you're winning the way they are today. As that'll go to the Schoolboy, just hasn't been updated yet, but that'll go to 58 points to 0 with just over 4.5 remaining. They might look to bring up the 60 here.
So Scott, he gets us underway this time. A ball stops. Jonah Anderson, no, Noah Martin picks it up and says to Ben Castle, right, your turn for a run. As he moves forward, Jack Anderson into dummy half. He finds Sullivan. Sullivan charging through the middle. The Illawarra side still going is Sullivan. Jack Anderson looks up. Swager, he finds Martin. Martin on that right side now. He's still got Swager with him. Martin says, no way, you know, I'm going for 3, and that'll do me.
What a try. We just spoke about his footwork, Sully. You can see a couple of frustration kicking in there for Illawarra. But beautiful footwork and backed himself.
Well, it was a quick play of the ball from Sullivan. And then they went that short side with Martin just running a really good line. And as you say, when you went through that first gap, it was like, okay, I'm going to pull the pin this time. And off he went. Yeah. And he was scoring through. That's all he wanted.
Well, I'd have to see the replay. But I think that was Ovi Hore, pushing up there around the footy. And he said, no, I'll do it myself. And that was a great individual try. But we spoke about his footwork. But the courage just to run onto that line there. Straight off the dummy half. No fear. As he bags a hat-trick. And he's been one of the best on ground today for Erindale. As they bring up the 60. They might go 70, Sully.
Oh, well, there's only 2 and a bit left.
It'll be the clock that stops them.
It will be the clock. As I say, it took them a lot. As we both said, it took them a long time to add to that half-time score, which was 34-0. And Gash, no problems with the conversion. And it's a game they have dominated. They've had 70% of the football, at least.
Oh, at least. We saw not the tides were turning, but we saw at least a bit of a contest there for the opening 15 minutes of this second half. Illawarra was starting to sort of muscle up, and they had a sort of fair possession of the football.
So Zach Scott, he tries a short kick off and gets away with it. And he looked up and says, don't land on me. He was more than happy. The Erindale players, they said, no, that won't be a problem. As Sullivan now drives the Illawarra Sports High player to the ground. That was hammered. Tausala underneath for Taufa.
They want to try and get one on the board here. It's a consolation.
That's right, they do. Tausala, his second touch, he just dances off one leg. Still going, but being driven sideways. Wide pass there for Cliff. Cliff, in turn, underneath. They find Tarney. Some good defence there once again. Erindale side trying to protect their line on the last. On the last it is. There's Plecos. Forward pass.
It's disappointing.
And that'll give Erindale one last attacking opportunity. They're 90 away from their try line.
It was a disappointing set. That's probably the best I thought they'd looked. Those couple of tackles there.
I think they'll have a crack here, Finn.
Oh, I think they will. They'll be looking to bring up the 70-odd.
Ilsefa spins out of one. Eventually wrapped up. Sweeney just snuck up there. Jack Anderson. Regan Carr charges onto it, going across field, floating across field. Oh, he throws the ball. Not sure which way he thought he was throwing it then, but that might do us as the ball is thrown forward.
Did well to get the arm free, but just pushed it there, but it won't matter. Illawarra may get one or possibly 2 tackles. They've got to pack the scrum. They might not get it off. 15 seconds remaining, but Erindale just too good today, Sully.
Yeah, it's been a comprehensive performance set up by that 34-0 lead at half-time as Illawarra Sports try and grab some points to end the game as it ends up with Mitchell Sweet, who fires it out to Cleveland Van der Lark. And a good tackle coming across there. You can hear the generous crowd here at Seaford Oval acknowledging a good win there. 64 points to 0 as referee Cage Miles blows full time.